What up, though? Boss of all bosses. And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you got, you trying to make it go up, hit me right now.
I never folded, never told, never will. Death before the...
I got a text from some very credible dudes who said they pressed 50 to take down all the Big Meech posts, right? Once again,
the list of people connected to this whole thing is really serious. And right in the middle of it all is Big Meech. He was the first leader of the BMF gang, and he is the one who created one of the most famous and powerful criminal organizations that anyone has ever built from nothing.
50 had your key. Do you know what your one key? Me and you got the same key to any embarrassment. Whether it's factual or not, what is it? What's your key?
Being exposed.
Lena.
Right now, Big Meech is really angry. People are saying that he found out Rick Ross is getting a little too friendly with 50 Cent. And if you know the past problems between these three men, then you understand that this is a very risky thing for Ross to do. What began as a feeling of admiration and respect, with Ross even saying out loud, "I think I'm Big Meech," has now become something that Meech views as a complete betrayal. And whenever Meech has something to say, everyone in the music and street world stops what they are doing and pays attention. Let's go back in time for a moment to see how this situation started. Rick Ross built a huge part of his own fame in the beginning by using a lot of the style and feeling of the BMF brand. He showed off the expensive cars, the idea of having endless cash, the fancy way of living, and that powerful attitude of being the boss. His popular song called BMF didn't just become famous. It made everyone in the neighborhoods incredibly excited. That song was supposed to be a sign of respect, a way of showing love for Meech and the entire empire he built. And during that time, Meech appreciated it. He understood Ross's lyrics and his music as a form of love, as a method for keeping the story and the power of BMF going strong while he was locked up in prison.
Some rappers think they war ready and they beef ready till they step into the beef. And then they get somebody coming at them crazy. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what it's like to have beef with 50 Cent? 50 Cent is incredible with the beef. Not just musically, with every day he was going viral. Yo, your mother, your wife. I'm like, oh my God, this guy here. Like, don't get beef with 50 Cent.
Rick Ross kept on talking about BMF in his interviews. He was fully living the fancy lifestyle and acting like the powerful boss that Meech was known for being. Meech himself once said a very famous line, "I never gave up, I never snitched, and I never will. I would rather die than be disloyal." This is because people in BMF have always valued loyalty more than anything else. From the very beginning, the BMF name has been a very important and serious thing. But then, when 50 Cent got involved and created a whole television show based on the BMF name, their story, their history, and their whole image, the feeling around the situation completely changed. What used to feel like a simple tribute suddenly turned into a serious and risky power struggle. For Meech, this changed the entire relationship between everyone in a way that nobody expected. 50 Cent was making a lot of money from using the BMF brand, and the people around Meech felt that they were not being given the proper credit they deserved. And when it came to Rick Ross, he was supposed to be like family to Meech. That idea is what really made Meech the most upset. According to people who know what is happening, when Meech heard that Ross had spoken positively about 50 Cent's BMF TV show, calling it a genius idea and saying that 50 did a great job, that was the exact moment when everything changed for Meech. In his eyes, that wasn't just support for a show. It felt like Ross was choosing to join the other side.
Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
This is because in Meech's world, loyalty is not something you can change or bend. You are either on the side of your family and friends, or you are on the side of the people who are against them. There is no middle ground or in between. Rick Ross has been saying for many years that he made the BMF song because he felt love and respect for what Meech stood for. He admired the hard work, the big dreams, and the way Meech started with nothing and built an empire. But in Meech's eyes, that message doesn't feel true or real anymore. This is especially true after he watched Ross become friendly with someone Meech has considered an enemy for more than 10 years. And it is not like the fighting between 50 Cent and Ross is old news that everyone has forgotten. These two have been trading insults and attacking each other for years. This includes making mean songs about each other, getting into messy court cases, and even having public arguments that involve their family members. That history of bad blood is very deep, and everyone in the music industry knows all about it. So for Meech, who has known Ross since a long time ago, seeing him get friendly with 50 Cent right now does not look like a simple friendship. To Meech, it looks like a planned move in a game of chess, one that is designed to get more power and attention for Ross. And according to Meech's rules, that is not what loyalty looks like. That is what betrayal looks like when it is dressed up to look like a smart business deal. And betrayal, no matter how you try to explain it, always leads to serious consequences in their world. And the situation did not stop there. Soon, people in the neighborhoods and in the industry started talking a lot. They were saying that Rick Ross was only using the BMF name to help people remember who he was and to stay famous. The word going around was that Ross had chosen to be on the side of making money instead of being on the side of staying loyal. And in a world where loyalty is the most important thing, getting that kind of reputation is a very big deal. Those quiet rumors and talks do not just go away or fade easily. And when those rumors finally got back to Meech, he took them very seriously. According to a person who knows about the situation, Meech felt like he had been completely tricked and used. He supposedly said that Ross talked like they were family, but then he turned around and gave praise to a man who was making a lot of money from Meech's name and story without ever asking Meech for his permission. That kind of talk is not just small conversation. It is very serious language coming from a man like Meech, who built his entire life and story on a set of rules, strong beliefs, and loyalty. And for Meech, this whole problem is not just about his own feelings or his pride. It is about protecting the story and the memory of everything he built.
What up, though? Boss of all bosses. And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you got, you trying to make it go up, hit me right now.
I never folded, never told, never will. Death before the...
People who are close to the situation say that when Meech talks about this in private, he has made it clear that this is not a small argument. For him, this is about protecting something he built with his own hard work, his own struggle, and his own good name. While Rick Ross is out in the world living a great life, saying, "I think I'm Big Meech" in his songs and building his own famous brand using the BMF story, the real Big Meech is still stuck fighting for his name and his legacy from a prison cell. He does not have the freedom to just go online and respond every single time someone makes money from the story of his life. So when he sees Ross becoming friendly with the very man who is making a lot of money from that legacy, it is no surprise that he feels a deep and serious lack of respect. This is because in Meech's world, the name BMF is not just a brand for selling things. It represents real history, real sacrifice, and real loyalty. And when people from the outside start to play around with that, the reaction from Meech and his people will never be a small or light one. But to be fair and show both sides, Rick Ross and his team have been trying to calm everyone down and quiet the rumors. They have said again and again that this situation is not about choosing one side over another. They say it is about the music of hip-hop, it is about telling a good story, and it is about showing respect to the legendary people who helped create the culture. And maybe on the surface, that seems like it could be true. But in the world of the streets, the situation and the details around something are the most important part. Who you decide to be friends with matters a great deal. Who you decide to celebrate and praise matters a great deal. And you cannot be out having a good time and drinking with someone that your brother sees as his enemy and expect everything to stay calm and peaceful. That is just not how the idea of loyalty works in that kind of environment. Now, the whole problem has become very messy and complicated. Big Meech feels like he has been betrayed by someone he trusted. Ross keeps saying that he never meant any harm and that his plans were innocent. And then there is 50 Cent. He is sitting back comfortably and watching everything fall apart, probably smiling as he sees it all happen. That is the kind of power he has always had. He does not just play the game, he is in full control of the entire game board. He is an expert at controlling the story that people hear and making other people react to what he does. And whether Ross meant for it to happen or not, he is now following the moves that 50 Cent is making. It is like Ross walked into a music hall where 50 Cent is the conductor and Ross just joined the band as a new member. And the more that Ross gets involved with 50, the harder it is for him to say that he is not taking a side. This is because once you are standing next to a person like 50 Cent, every single thing you do is seen by everyone as a choice you have made, even if you never meant for it to be that way. 50 Cent has also made his own position clear when he talks in interviews. He is not here to explain himself or say sorry for anything. He has said, "Meech respects what I built. We are telling his story in the right way." And it is true that Meech respects the idea of a good business plan. He understands how valuable it is to turn your life story into a famous brand that the whole world knows. But that does not mean he agrees with or supports every single action, every new friendship, or every business partnership that happens. And in a culture where respect is as valuable as money, those quiet and unspoken feelings are just as important as the business deals themselves.
I got a text from some very credible dudes who said they pressed 50 to take down all the Big Meech posts, right? Once again, I got the text, I read it out loud, I was on...
Meech might understand that 50 Cent is good at business, but that does not mean he is okay with how this whole thing is happening. When you are a famous and important person like Meech, the story of your life is not just a show for people to watch. It is your actual life. Every part of the television show that gets filmed, every line in a song that gets written, and every dollar that gets made using the BMF name is a very serious thing that means more than people think. And when people start making a lot of money from his life story without showing him the proper respect or even talking to him about it, it feels like they are using his own image to build their own successful empires. Meech has been in this business long enough to know exactly how everything works. He has seen how people act differently when the cameras are on them, when there are contracts to sign, and when getting attention and fame becomes the most important goal. So, when he sees Ross and 50 Cent suddenly acting like the best of friends, taking pictures together, talking about business deals, and publicly supporting each other, he feels hurt by it. The loyalty he once thought was strong and unbreakable now looks like something that can be changed or traded away. And that kind of feeling hurts him much more than any mean song or insult could. And that is the real injury here. Ross is not just some random rapper from the neighborhood. This is the same man who used to call himself Big Meech in his songs, the same artist who created his entire boss personality based on the BMF image. So, watching him turn around and give praise to 50 Cent, the man who turned Meech's real life into a television show that makes a lot of money, feels like a major betrayal that is hidden inside what looks like a compliment. Meech is not trying to start a big fight, but he is making his message very easy to understand. He wants people to respect the BMF name. He wants them to respect where it all started. And he does not want people to make the line between admiring someone and using someone become blurry and unclear. In the world of the streets, that invisible line is the most important thing there is. Once you step over that line, you can never really go back to how things were. And the respect that you lose once you are on the other side of that line, you can never get it back. Here is the part that most people do not understand. Meech is not out there being jealous of anyone else's success. That has never been his style. He built his own huge empire by watching other people win while he was still finding his own way to succeed. But when someone takes your name, your life story, and starts making millions of dollars from it, there is a certain way you have to act about it. You cannot only partly show respect to the man who created the original plan, and then turn around and become friends with his biggest rival. That is like breaking one of the oldest and most important rules that exists in street life. And everyone who has lived that kind of life knows that there are some lines you simply never cross. Let's be honest about what is happening. 50 Cent plays a very complicated game like chess, not a simple game like checkers. Every single move he makes is part of a much bigger plan. He knows how to cause trouble and get people upset. He knows how to get everyone talking. And most importantly, he knows how to control the story that people hear. So when Ross started publicly saying he liked 50 Cent's BMF television show, 50 did not just see it as a nice thing to say. He saw it as a tool he could use to his own advantage. Here is a thought that a lot of people are talking about. Imagine if Meech was a free man right now. Does anyone really believe that Rick Ross would be acting the same way? Most people say no, he would not. The whole feeling of the situation would change very quickly. Meech would want to have a direct, face-to-face conversation. There would be no secret social media posts or hidden messages, just two men talking honestly. This is because in the world they come from, real men deal with a problem directly, they do not avoid it. This whole problem is bigger than just music. It is a major moment for the culture. Everyone is watching every move, trying to figure out if loyalty still matters. When a man like Big Meech, who is known for having a strong code of honor, questions someone like Rick Ross, it is a big deal. This is a test of what people really believe in. Ross is at a point where he has to make a choice, even if he does not know it yet. On one side, his own famous image is tied to the BMF legacy that helped make him a star. On the other side, he is now connected to the man who turned that legacy into a TV show. In street politics, you cannot have both. Something has to change. Just because Meech is in prison does not mean he has no power. His name is still very strong and respected in cities all over the country. When he says he is disappointed, everyone in the industry hears it. Ross has been very quiet, and that silence says a lot. It sounds like he is hoping people will just forget about it. But stories about BMF do not just fade away, they stick around and people remember. Right now, Meech is not trying to start a war, but his message is clear. If you are going to use the BMF name, you have to really mean it. Ross has a choice to make. He can pretend everything is fine, or he can try to fix what is broken. But when loyalty is cracked, it is never the same again. You can try to patch it up, but the damage is still there. And in Meech's world, a small crack in loyalty can grow into something that changes everything.